about the relationship of Nigeria and the United States. His Excellency, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is already responding very well to that issue, appointing of ambassadors and pushing for them to be mobilized immediately, because truly it's more of a matter of diplomacy than law. Finally, distinguished Senator Asokwo. Yes, Mr. President of the Senate, sir, we have the privilege of having a leader of the National Assembly, chairman of the National Assembly, that is also a lawyer. You understand that law is quite very broad, very, very broad. So if you're a good lawyer, you should be able to fit in to any job description and do well, because there's law of every walk of life. But beyond that, beyond my strong background in law, I have very strong background in research and academics, very strong background in governance, many years of governance experience. As a public servant, I've held various offices, but beyond that.
Tochukwu Ode, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and a nominee of Mr. President for the office of Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The Senate had to bend backwards to accommodate you. At the time, we did not, yesterday we could have taken you, but we did not have the requisite clearance. So we're able to you had done your fingerprinting with the police, and they're giving you clearance that you have no criminal record. So we now had to wait for the Directorate of State Security to complete their work, and their report came in late yesterday. So we said, let us do you the favor of bending backwards to accommodate you so you can go and fill the position and start offering services to the nation. I know that outside this country it's not easy to pay Senior Advocate of Nigeria. The Queen's Council, they pay thousands of pounds per hour. So we didn't want you to wait for too long before going to your new office so that you will not charge the Senate. So please, you can, I also welcome your dear wife, I'm sure. Did you bring your wife? Okay, so that was not heard. So, but at least I congratulate your family for this elevation in advance if you are cleared by the Senate. So please, you may step forward and answer a few questions from distinguished colleagues. And then thereafter you take a few questions from our colleagues. You're welcome.
The President of the Senate and Chairman of the National Assembly, distinguished Senator Goswell Obot Akpabio, GCON. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Senate, distinguished Senator Barao Ibrahim Jibrin. Principal officers of the Nigeria Senate, distinguished senators, the special advisor to the President Federal Republic of Nigeria, distinguished Senator Bashir Lado, CON. Your Excellency, first let me thank the Senate very profusely for the favor that I found before this distinguished Senate, bending backwards to accommodate my screening today. That I do not take for granted at all. Not just my family, but Enugu State of Nigeria, the government and the good people, and also the governor. And I know also that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is delighted that you've bent backwards to accommodate me. Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Kingsley Tochukwude, SAN. I hail from Enugu State of Nigeria. My hometown is Ozala in Nkanu West local government area. I'm a lawyer by profession, an academician, a researcher, public finance management expert. I'm a notary public, and I'm also a public servant. Your Excellency, I am married to Barrister Mrs. Chinagolum Tochude, who incidentally is not here because this was very sudden, because national duty called. I was to be in court today representing Enugu State of Nigeria in a matter at the Federal High Court as the Attorney General, Commissioner for Justice, Enugu State. And behold, I was called to answer another national call. And the importance of that is not lost on me. So my wife is yet to arrive. So I have 3 children. I attended College of the Immaculate Conception, CIC, Enugu. First, before that, my primary school education was Army Children's School, Okonano, Enugu. After my secondary school education, I proceeded and graduated from University of Nigeria, Faculty of Law. After that, I proceeded to National Youth Service, where I was posted to Adamawa State. I served in Tongo Local Government Secretariat as the head legal, because Tongo requested that I be posted there to set up the legal unit. After that, I proceeded to do my Master of Laws at University of Nottingham, United Kingdom, specializing in public international law. Then after that, I also earned a Doctor of Laws from Stellenbosch University, South Africa. The Chairman, Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, distinguished senators, I have other academic attainment, but for the want of time, I'll skip that and go to my employment records. I founded TKUD and Associates, a law and consultancy firm where I started practice from year 2007 till I was invited to serve in the government of Enugu State. I also combined that, because of my love for academics, combined that with teaching. So I taught in Bayes University, Abuja, taught in the Nigeria Law School, and also taught in University of Nigeria, where I actually taught pro bono. So I taught without getting paid for most of my stint in University of Nigeria, because I was giving back to my alma mater. Let me not forget that I didn't drop from heaven. I have parents. So let me give honor to my parents. So my dad, still alive, and my mom. Father, Honorable Justice Kingsley Ngude, retired, and Reverend Mrs. Egude. They gave me the best of home training. So I must recognize them today. Your Excellency, the President of the Senate, distinguished senators, I served in the government of Enugu State, first as Senior Special Assistant, Development Aid, Coordination and Mobilization, after which His Excellency, the Governor of Enugu State, deemed it fit to elevate me to Special Advisor on Education. And then afterwards, I was also elevated to Commissioner for Rural Development. And the government of Enugu State and the people felt that I had performed creditably, and based on my background in law and governance, His Excellency, the Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubi Simba Esquire, the performing Governor of Enugu State, appointed me in his wisdom to serve as the Honorable Attorney General Commissioner for Justice, Enugu State, where I've been serving from August 14/2023 to date, until this national assignment came. And that's what I am responding to. And finally, I would say that I will not forget this statement. It is value that I would bring. Value imparted on me by years of working across Nigeria, across the globe, working with inspirational leaders like Governor Peter Ndobe Simba, even the former governor of Enugu State, Right Honorable Ifeanyi Lawrence Ugwuanyi, and other leaders across Nigeria that have worked on, that have mentored me. So may it please the Senate to graciously clear me for this national assignment, and I'll make you people proud. Thank you very much.
And a young man who believes in giving back to the society what the society has impacted in him. I join you to commend your parents for your excellent training, which has brought you this dignified recognition and elevation. For me, as your in-law from Enugu State, I can only say to God be the glory that finally Mr. President has been able to get somebody that has your stature. And from your resume, a very young man at that. So I will allow two major questions. One will be from a distinguished principal officer of the Senate from Enugu State, Senator Sitangu, in whom we are very well pleased. And the second will be from the youngest senator in the Senate. I don't know whether you are younger than him or he's younger than you. The distinguished Senator Asuku Ekpeyang. You can see this is another product of youthfulness. Because the minority whip. Thank you for your submission.
To Abdul Nengi, and I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State. Mr. President, let me join you in welcoming Dr. Ude to this hallowed chamber. Yesterday, the minority whip was busy going about lobbying and telling us about his very good character. And today, from his CV, and especially what he said during his days as a NYC member in Adamawa, it gladdens my heart, because he said he was in Tongo, a local government I know, and Binos, and the legal business that he set up gladdens my heart that this is a person that is truly a Nigerian. My question is, Dr. Ude, the main issue in Nigeria today is the issue between Nigeria and the United States of America. That is the main current issue. Because of your versatility, if I ask you, what in your opinion is the way forward?
Before you delve into commenting on Trump, on President Trump, before you delve into commenting on President Trump, according to the question by Senator Nengi, because you are, of course, there's no question that you cannot answer. Senator Ojusakalo, add your question. After that, Senator Alero. There's no question he cannot answer.
Thank you. My name is Oji Kalu. I represent Abia North. My own is not questioned. My own is to commend the young man because he has done very well. Senators should be proud for Nigerians like this. This man at 43 is Attorney General of Enugu State. We need not to be asking him questions because from his CV, what is here? What is here? Allow me to speak my opinion. That is your problem. What is here? There's no order. I'm in the right direction. Please, allow me to speak my opinion. I'm confining myself. What is here? I'm speaking volume about this gentleman standing here. He is currently the Attorney General of Enugu State. That is a #1 commissioner in Enugu State. And we cannot joke with him. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria and a member of Inner Bar. He's a member of Inner Bar. When we see people, and this gentleman has come to the floor of the Senate to appreciate his father and mother. How many nominees have appreciated their father and mother? This is the first since I started being in this Senate. So I urge my colleagues to ask this gentleman to take a bow and go. Mr. President is waiting. Thank you, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Orju Sakalo is not somebody who talks anyhow. A very serious-minded legislator. And what you have just done almost brought tears to my eyes. Any child that can appreciate the mother, appreciate the father, is a child that will appreciate Nigeria. So I believe you were in order. So I rule you in of order. Senator Aliru.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. Let me join my colleagues. First of all, commending Mr. President for appointing somebody very, very competent. And let me also commend the nominee for achieving academic excellence from what I have seen in CV. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I want to ask a question. And the question I want to ask is, there has been a clamor for over 20 years that the office of the Attorney General of the Federation should be separated so that there will be Attorney General for the Federation and Attorney General for federal government. I want to ask the nominee, what is his view? Because I could recall Enugu State is one of the states that is seriously pushing for the separation of the office of the Attorney General of the federal government and that of the Federation. And as far back as 2014, there was a national conference. And in that national conference, recommendations were made that the office of the Attorney General of the Federation should be separated. Yeah. If I say office of Attorney General, it includes the minister. The office of the Attorney General of the Federation or the minister of the Federation should be separated from that of the federal government and the Federation. So I want to know his view. And secondly, I look at his CV and all the attachment. I have not seen the slip from the Code of Conduct Bureau. And this is a constitutional requirement. I don't know whether it is an oversight that public officers should declare their assets before assumption of office. I'm sure in the next 2 or 3 days, once we finish this screening exercise, Mr. President will swear you in. And I want to know whether you have declared your asset. If you have not, it is very important you do that. That's my advice. Thank you, Mr. President.
Conduct, which is a mandatory requirement. And then you go to answer the very valuable question of Attorney General of the Federation and Attorney General of the Federal Government of Nigeria. Because the same glamour also goes to the office of Accountant General of the Federation and Accountant General for the federal government of Nigeria. People believe that the two should be separated. So that's I think those are very germane questions. The only one I would like you to dodge for now is commenting on Trump. Go on.
Your Excellency, the President of the Senate. Thank you, distinguished Senator Alero, for drawing my attention to the asset declaration requirement. In the course of my public service, I've always declared my assets in line with the Constitution, and I've also undertaken that for this current national assignment. So thank you, sir. So on the issue of separation of offices, you know, there are even arguments like the current constitutional review, ongoing constitutional review, and when the senators and House of Rep members visited Enugu, and the memo they presented about the areas that they are seeking constitutional review on. One of the areas was actually the separation of the office of the Attorney General from the office of the Minister of Justice, and the separation of the office of the Attorney General of State from the office of a Commissioner for Justice. Now, there are various arguments regarding for pro and for, or against and for. And all the arguments are certainly very reasonable. So some arguments for the separation will say that the Attorney General, being the chief law officer of the state, handles prosecution. If you look at the Constitution, discover that the major responsibility, constitutional responsibility of an Attorney General is prosecutorial powers. And so some members of the public have the concern that if the office of the Attorney General remains political, that there will be influence on the Attorney General in the prosecution of cases. Therefore, that it should be separated from the political arm of that office, which is the Minister for Justice and Commissioner of Justice. So, but I'll always say that it's better people experience the reality of the office to be better grounded in their argument and reasoning. I've been Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General for over 2 years. Incidentally, my dad served as Solicitor General of the state for several years before he went to the bench. So I know the workings of this office very well. Whether it is separated or fused, it depends on the personality of the individuals there. Of course, even if it's an Attorney General that is not political, even if it's within the civil service, and the person does not have character, there will still be influence. Will the person not be appointed by an individual? And it will still, the person that appointed will still have influence. So there's no institution of humanity that will not be subject to human flaws and frailties. So whether we choose to have them as one or separate them, they will still be subject to what every human being is subject to, the weaknesses of humans and the background and the personalities of the occupiers of the office. But one thing I can say is that I've served in the office of the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice with integrity, with the fear of God, creditably, and performing, knowing that justice is a matter that is divine. In handling it, one must fear God, and one must remember that if justice is miscarried, it can affect, deeper than the particular case that is before that particular office. So, Mr. President of the Senate, Senator Abdul Dengue had made a comment about the relationship of Nigeria and the United States. His Excellency, His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu is already responding very well to that issue, appointing of ambassadors and pushing for them to be mobilized immediately, because truly it's more of a matter of diplomacy than law. Finally, distinguished Senator Asokwo. Yes, Mr. President of the Senate, sir, we have the privilege of having a leader of the National Assembly, chairman of the National Assembly, that is also a lawyer. You understand that law is quite very broad, very, very broad. So if you're a good lawyer, you should be able to fit in to any job description and do well, because there's law of every walk of life. But beyond that, beyond my strong background in law, I have very strong background in research and academics, very strong background in governance, many years of governance experience. As a public servant, I've held various offices, but beyond that, as a development expert, having worked with various international organizations and supporting government of the state, there's no state of the federation that I've not worked for, none. And worked in, either as a consultant for UNICEF, for UNDP, for DFID, and various other international organizations, spanning different walks of life. So it's not just been law practice and litigation. No, I've, by the grace of God, my experience, my career and professional stint have spanned across various facets of life. And this is what I would leverage to bring value to the renewed hope of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if the Senate approves that I serve in that capacity.
In Baribe, and I represent Abia South, Order 58-1. A senator may, rising in his place, claim to move that the question be now put. I so move.
The distinguished colleagues reading that order. Let me read the real order for you. It says, after a question has been proposed, a senator rising in his place may claim to move that the question be now put, and unless it shall appear to the chair that such motion is an abuse of the rules of the Senate, or an infringement of the rights of the minority. The motion that the question be now put shall be put forward with and decided without amendment or debate, notwithstanding that the mover had no opportunity to make his reply. Well, if it is not an infringement on the rights of the minorities, okay, Senator Larry.
Very distinguished colleagues, my name is Kabarudin Olalero Yewume. I represent also West Territorial District of Osun State. Mr. President, I stand to second the motion moved by the...
It is a motion.
It's a motion?
Yes, it's a motion.
It's a motion.
It's moved by Senator Akpabio. That the question should be put by the President. I so second.
Well? The point of order raised by distinguished Senator Abaribe is hereby sustained. And then a further No, we don't need a question. We don't need a question. We don't need a question. Yeah, even from the majority. And we are talking, we are... Okay. Well, is it the view of the Senate that there is no minority infringement? Is it the view of the Senate that the nominee, being so versatile and being able to dodge the Trump question, be now allowed to take a bow? Those in support say aye, and those against say nay. The ayes have it. The nominee can now take a bow.